Vine sat on the stairs outside her department building. Her feet bounced nervously and hands balled into fists, getting sweaty as she stared at her mobile screen in her lap, waiting for a reply to her text message. It never came. It was never seen. She stood up abruptly and marched inside, tired of being nervous. And for what? For something she didn't do, for someone whom she didn't care about. Why would it matter if something happens to that person if he can't worry about himself? Vine was out with her friends last night. They had a girls' night out, did some shopping, and took pictures. Sat in a nice cafe and had some coffee. Then they started to tease her about being single. Vine tried to change the topic, but it didn't work. They suddenly wanted her to have a boyfriend and started to give her suggestions about the handsome guys of their campus. The next day, when that exact guy walked past them, they started to tease her about it, and he heard it, taking the wrong idea. The guy, Carl, thought Vine liked him and was trying to hit on him and talking about him with her girlfriends. He was wrong, but he didn't know. He found her in an empty hallway, grabbed her wrist, and asked her directly without any shame and offered her to be a couple. Vine instantly snatched her hand back and told him she wasn't interested. Flashback. Vine, what are you doing? She rubbed her wrist as she pulled it back and narrowed her eyes. Vine, I told you, I am not interested. Carl, you're trying hard to get now. Vine, what? Look, it was a misunderstanding. Let's forget it happened. She tried her best not to hurt his ego and also not to create any misunderstanding, but he was simply not ready to let go. He slid his hand in his pockets and stepped towards her. Carl, was it? So if I make you mine, it won't be anymore, yes? He winked and left. Vine groaned and hit her palm against her head. Why did she have to get in this trouble? And a flashback. It had been 2 days since that. Till now, Carl had hit upon her a few times, leaving food on her table in cafeteria, a chocolate bar in her bag, and his number on a sticky note stuck inside her notebook, which she left in her classroom. She looked down at her cell phone, still no reply. Sighing, she decided to attend her class. Her friends were definitely waiting too after she told them she needed some time alone. She found them near the lockers and waved at them, but they looked at her surprised. Lion, what? She asked when she reached them. Maria, what is all this? Didn't you say you're not interested? Or are you hiding it? She teased, and Vine looked inside her locker and found a few flowers, a movie ticket, and cute hairpins. Vine, don't tell me it's Carl. Maria, it is. Look. She pointed at the little paper stuck to her locker underneath the gift, where his name was written. Vine took out all the things to throw them away, but stopped. Carl, did you like them? She saw him as soon as she turned, leaning against the locker on the opposite side. She looked down at the gifts and Carl smirked, clearly satisfied. The atmosphere shifted, the air tensed, and they heard footsteps, those of heavy boots which held great power as they advanced towards Mayan. Strong arms wrapped around her and pulled her against their body, lips against hers, and the gifts fell to the floor. Her eyes widened up. It was him, Jungkook. Why was he here after not replying to her text since whole day? He held her possessively, locked fingers in her hair, and pulled her head back to kiss her deeply. She gasped, which was swallowed by him and his dominant kiss. His body was radiating such heat that it could burn anyone alive. She placed her hands on his arms and returned the kiss. Carl, what do you think you're doing? He came forward, grabbed Jungkook by collar, and pulled him back. Jungkook pulled away, not because of Carl, but because he was done with the kiss. He locked his eyes with Wine for a moment. The intensity of his gaze sent shivers down her spine. Such dark and intense gaze he held as he shifted his eyes towards Carl. Jungkook, hands off, he said in his deep voice that made Carl drop his hand instantly. Carl, what do you think you just did now? Stay away from her. I won't warn again. Carl knew he couldn't fight the heartthrob. The girls and even a few boys were crazy after him. Making Jungkook his enemy would be like announcing rivalry with the whole campus. Jungkook tilted his head and took a dangerous step forward. Jungkook, make me. Carl grit his teeth, and Jungkook stomped his foot over the flowers on the floor, and Carl threw a fist. Jungkook grabbed his fist and threw him against the locker and held him down. Jungkook, stay away from her. I won't warn you again. Because if you want her, come and go through me first. He glared deep in his eyes and then grabbed Vine's wrist and dragged her away, ignoring the crowd that had circled around them. Vine heard all kind of whispers and gossips talking about them. Some being jealous of her, some cursing at her, some simply curious of their relationship. But Jungkook simply dragged her out and only stopped when they were alone. Vian, where were you since whole day? Didn't even reply to any text. Jungkook, I'm really sorry. It broke. I just went to get a new one. Why didn't you tell me about him? Wine. It's. I don't even know how it all happened. It was a misunderstanding because of my friends. But I didn't know he would actually become this serious. Jungkook, you don't know that. His ego was hurt. He most probably thought he would win you over, then hurt you in return. That's how boys like him are. Ryan, and did you really have to kiss me? Now everyone is going to ask questions. How am I supposed to keep a relationship hidden now? Jungkook, then don't. Ryan, your mother is going to kill me. Jungkook chuckled and brushed his fingers through her hair, then kissed her head. Jungkook, she just wanted to keep it hidden till Hyun gets married. You know, that old rule, the elder gets married first. She cares about her social circle a lot. And now that he's engaged, it won't be much of a problem. I'll talk to her, yeah? She nodded and hugged him. He wrapped his arms around her waist and kissed her head. Jungkook, what do you want to do for today? Movies? Wine. Are you still jealous? He rolled his eyes and spanked her once, earning a gasp, and winked, walking away. She ran after him to hit, and he laughed, running away. Jungkook, do you think it will work, huh? It won't. Wine. Wait till I get you. Your 7 generations will remember it. Jungkook, damn, I'm scared. Laughing, he ran away, while she followed him all over the parking lot.